We are here now, Franz, after postponing our plan to record for this week's episode.
A couple of times.
And we're here now. And actually, we decided to talk about how we were not feeling good and how we cope with it, because it's important to acknowledge that and also give space to process and share about our experiences, especially in this confusing and difficult time.
We're feeling a bit better now, yeah. But it did start to feel a little bit weird to me to come here and talk about so many things without acknowledging die Lage, so to say.
Mm-hmm.
Because in a way, this project is also a response to everything that's happening in the world. And it happened already once that we were not feeling great and we still met and recorded. And I think that was good. I think it made us feel better. And I think it's okay sometimes to push yourself a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But in this case, it's the opposite. Like we, instead of pushing through and doing it, even if we're not feeling good, we talk about the fact that sometimes we're not feeling good. And I think, as you said, so many of us and so many people around us are going through it. And let's just talk about it.
Before we start, since we just started this project, so please subscribe because it will help us a lot, and send some love.
Do we want to maybe share a little bit what happened this week? Or not?
Much. Where should I start?
Where should you start?
Yes.
Okay. Oh my God.
Yes, so basically, of course, there are so many personal stuffs happening also while like knowing what's happening outside of our world, and then like in my inner world, there's so many emotional roller coaster that I've been confronted because I'm in lots of changes right now and so many goodbyes and griefs that are coming together. So last week was one of the steps that I had for my relationship. So it's like a relationship story too, a little bit, that it's so hard to say it, because I used to say it's just a breakup, but it's a fucking divorce, babe. I'm a divorce.
It's a divorce.
It's a divorce. When you need to sign a paper, it's a divorce.
Yeah, that's literally what it is. You're undergoing a divorce.
I'm undergoing a divorce in a peaceful and loving way. We can talk about it in maybe 150 episodes.
Tips and tricks.
How to do divorce. Oh my God. So it's been like an ongoing process. It's not just like, oh, now it's happening. It's been like 2 years that we were doing this uncoupling, conscious uncoupling, let's say it in the poly vocabulary. And now, because we were married, we need to do like the systematic bureaucracy stuff, which like triggers so many emotions as well. And during that time also, I finally found my new home. Yes, I'm...
A beautiful home.
Oh, Daddy's found his home, and at the same time, I needed to move out from my ex-partner home, which was my old home too. So there were so many separations, pain and trigger, wounded, abandonment, that was just like at the same time happening. And my physical health also was in a fragile state because I have so much allergy. And in Germany now it's spring season where everything is flying. So all of that pushing me deep. How deep was your week?
I'm happily married.
Excuse me?
But that doesn't, I mean, that's like...
I'm happily divorced.
That's amazing. Now officially for... You signed some papers and now all of a sudden
Now you can marry me.
I was telling you that I feel like I married you.
I know.
Because when I talk to my friends, I'm always saying, "Oh, Dira this, Dira that. Oh, are you coming here?" Yes, because Dira has a performance. Like, yes, they're like going around behind my spouse, you know. But my week, I think the post production of the show, it might not seem as a lot, but it is. It is a lot for me, especially because I was hacked a few weeks ago and I had to switch like the program that I was using to edit for like 15 years. I now had to learn a new program because I didn't want to pay to this company anymore. So that has been intensive. And I think I spent a few days like very intensively working in some things, and then I told you off like I cannot, I'm not in the headspace to record an episode. Especially we wanted to talk about a topic that needs some being present and also aware of certain things, so I really was not there, and I told you and you were like perfect. Like
Aligning.
We do it on Saturday. And then on Saturday, I was already feeling like, oh my God, like I might still like need some time, you know? And then you wrote me because you had been to your divorce, basically.
And also my allergy.
And oh my God, your allergy. Dira was tested for allergies and you score all points, basically.
I win. I guess. Everything. So yeah, my body reacted. My body was attacked with the allergy that I have. So I was just like, no.
Shit, that must be tough.
Yes. But I'm here now.
That's amazing. And today I'm feeling better. You're feeling better.
Yes.
And in my case, I feel that I've had this very high functioning way of approaching this wave of the thing, this wave of the crisis, of so many crises. And it's related to the fact that I quit my job a couple of months ago and that I now have this time and I am pushing some of my own projects forward. So I feel I have some kind of like extra boost to cruise through the times. But then I realized I wasn't making space for sadness, for fears, for uncertainty. And, you know, that's also, it's not a good idea, you know, because if you don't make space for those things, then, you know, they will stay in your body and they will come afterwards. And that actually brings me to one of the ideas that I thought it would be important to talk about in this episode, and is how hard it can be sometimes to hold these two realities, you know, and more than two sometimes, in which there's all these things happening in the world, like political violence, genocide, the rise of the extreme right, and then the personal things that are hard, and then on the other side, things that are good, like having each other, having our friends. In my case, for example, also my family is doing relatively well back in Nicaragua after years of very deep shit that we were going through, like political violence, harassment, imprisonment for political reasons and things like that. So like very deep shit. And then now they are working together in a farm and they are like motivated, and you know, like how to hold space to all these things. I think that's like challenging.
That's like the part of creating the space for like both or even more realities, and the realities that are contradicting each other, you know. It's also similar with emotion, like, oh, if you feel sad then you're not happy. No, it could be both as well. Or like you feel the joy and at the same time, like my grief has taught me to like every little joy is also like triggers my sadness because it's also so beautiful. And then how do I allow these emotions to also take space in the body, because we're not used to it. We need to like think and feel binary as well, you know. And this is just with the realities that we are in as well. This is this, and then we need to focus on that. And then forgetting the other part that is actually, what is it called? Like complementary, and also should also exist together, like it's like interdependence relationship that between joy and grief, between sadness and happiness, and between this, like, how do we live and survive and thrive, and at the same time use this privilege and voice that we are allowed to speak in this time to also, like, plant the seed or watering, like, do something with this, and then to think of our own impact in a bigger space, but also like in a smaller. So everything is just like
yeah.
It's confusing.
It's confusing.
Very confusing.
It's a lot. Everything is connected, and it's very confusing. Yeah, this is interesting that you're saying, because also it's not that they should exist at the same time; it's that they exist at the same time. We're just very delusional. I mean, I'm joking, of course, because it's like because of trauma and because maybe we don't know better. Sometimes we just like go and only focus on one side if we want to see it like in this binary. But yeah, I mean, there's many different ways of coping. I haven't heard of one that is like 100% good, or like, because we don't like it's also not a topic of efficiency, and that's it's precisely about going away from this idea, and also this idea of productivity in the case of those people who are also working or politically involved in connection to everything that's happening. How do we make things sustainable in our lives in a way that will allow us to keep showing up without burning ourselves out? Because also, I mean, there are a lot of people that are very sad around us, but there are also, I've heard about many of our friends who this winter they like burnt out completely.
I wanted to add also my experience quitting my job, because I also did it. Like, I resigned because of my burning out, like a lot of reasons, and it was 1 year, almost 1.5 years ago, and then you did it last year with your job
in December. Yeah.
And then I realized, like, the whole year, like, I decided to resign. I mean, I decided, but then at the same time, like, I got support from my doctors and then my therapist to, like, okay, there are valid reasons why I am not able to work. Basically, I used to work at kindergarten with kids, and then I was an Integrationsfacherzieher in, like, I deal with kids with traumas and kids that were in war and so many intense emotions that I need to hold space. But at that moment I couldn't, because I also just experienced a big trauma loss of a family member. Yes. And then I was like, okay, I cannot work, and then I resigned. But then during that year, like last year, and then I was also exploring my artistic expression, right? And then I tried to explore and learn more about my artistic form, and went to that dimension, and realizing that in my unemployment time where I actually need to rest, I was still working. I was doing like this kind of project that we were doing, and then like doing it with friends, and then saying yes to all the projects that they were asking, and then or we were like collaborating and and doing so many stuff, because I had the guilt feeling of like, damn, now I have the time. I should use the time to do something, to create something. It's a beautiful thing too. This is also my passion. It's not that, oh no, I'm not doing it. I still want to do it with more conscious decision, intention, and also always checking in with my body what I need, because like once I learned that kind of deep grief that I've been experiencing is like so many unknown things happening in my body while also transitioning, doing hormone therapy. So it's like the productivity pressure of like, yes, I'm unemployed, but I have time now. So I needed to do so much stuff that I didn't rest in the end, And I think you are experiencing this space where like, oh, wait a minute. It's fun to do your own project. It's very moving too, and this is one of the things that keeps us also going in this time to like create the space to talk about it. And at the same time, like you said, production, editing, everything. So you are working. And while you have the time, you can like work in the evening and then just like
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to think that I will see the signs, because the thing is that I was working for more than 7 years at the same place, and since it was a job, it was easier I learned to put the boundaries,
Yes.
And I think I was one of the people in this team that was like setting boundaries like more clearly. And if I compare what I'm doing now to what I was doing then, maybe I'm doing more now, but it feels less than back then, because I think doing a job that doesn't 100% align with your purpose, if we want to talk in those romantic terms, it takes a different toll on your body and on your mind, right?
How do you now process things that now you plan your own time, right? And then you do something that your heart is wanting to and also like nourish your soul, but at the same time, like how do you find time to rest and to like not push your boundaries or your limit?
The thing is that at this point, I already came to terms with things like guilt, for example. And I think that I am better at avoiding those spirals. And this is not like just talent, it's like something that I learned the hard way. And I've set myself a threshold, like some kind of threshold, in which if it's 3 or 4 p.m. and I haven't done as much as I wanted for the day, I force myself to take a decision. Either I will change gears and work into the evening, into the night, and achieve things that will make me feel good at the end, or I will completely let it go for the day. And it's not easy. It's not easy to let it go. But the thing that made me or makes me be able to do it is that before I would have the same situation, like I would not do or achieve anything in a whole day, but then I will be feeling guilty for the whole day. So what I am removing from the equation is the guilt, not the result. And this really shifted something, because when I understood that this constant state of dysregulation is the result, but maybe even the goal of these systems of oppression, it was easier for me to let go of these guilt and of all this like feeling of high achievement and at the same time spirals of guilt, and try to find some balance.
That's very practical also, like to have certain time, from 3. So like your body also has the clock, right? And then you have like, okay, and I still have a day, it's not like, oh, I lose today already. So between 3 and 4 p.m. I think is a good middle way of like, okay, I still have another day, a half day that I could either achieve something or I could rest, and it's still enough rest. It's not like already late. Then what do I need to do, And then the weekly also, it's like the middle of the week, right? Like I like this middle way. It works for this mind to like you need to trick your mind too. That's also one of the things I learned. How I think when you send me the voice note, and then maybe we could like play the voice note a little bit later if you feel like
we
it.
can, okay.
And then in my part, I was like, because we were planning to shoot on Saturday, and then I had the needs to to create something, right, to achieve. But then I was like, I was just like a body with emotion, relax, or force sometimes. But I wanted to achieve something, and then I was minimalizing the achievement of like, okay, I want to clean my desk. That's it. And then just cleaning the desk. And then at that moment, this is where I also then plan my resting time, because I know my body needed rest. And resting is very like a deep topic that we needed to unlearn what does resting means, because sometimes I used to say, oh, I want to do nothing. No, resting is active. It's not doing nothing. Like on bed, scrolling, we all doing that, and it's not really actively resting, And this is one of the things that how I cope when I realize I need to rest first. I need to check what kind of resting as well, because I know my being have different ways of resting. Sometimes I think like I could rest with somebody else. Like there are certain ways to do this, but what I'm consciously now doing is like the actively understimulating myself. Like in that home, okay, just one part of the corner that I wanted to clean. And then I didn't even put music. Like to just like, okay, listen to small sounds and understimulating myself, that the body could feel just like they don't need to digest something new. And then just hearing, opening the window, hearing the birds, and actively resting for me, meaning also to just look out at the window. And we have a word in Indonesian language, it's called bengong, and like daydreaming. How many times that you used to do it as kids, and then now we always thinking something. And then I like, for example, active rest doesn't have to be inside. I go in the train and then just look at the window. It's just like, wow, it's so nice to not. It's not that you're not thinking, but you're just daydreaming and be somewhere else. And that's what I've been learning to give the rest that this body needs, like very, very needs, and creating that in my daily life. And like you said, reading the signs of how my body react. And my body is very honest and direct. When something is happening, like you would see my hands are like sweating, and I know, okay, I need to step back and like cocoon myself sometimes too, and check what are the needs that are there, new needs or old needs that were not fulfilled until now, Yeah. And talking about emotions, we talk a lot about emotions, and I needed to learn to really sit with the emotions, like, yes, there is therapy that helps, like this talking therapy, but at the same time, it's not like the goal to like heal is like go to this therapy. It's also quite like Eurocentric psychological perspective in a way that there's so many ways of somatic, like bodily healing practices, let's call it, in that we learn from different cultures and realities. And at the same time, like this talking about emotions made me forget, or made me then not really learning about how to actually really feel it in the body, and it's feelings, so we need to feel it. And then emotion is like energy in motions, and how, like you said also, when we keep it, it's gonna stays in our body and we're gonna get sick. And it's like, it's just real, like there are emotions and organs that are connected, you know. And then I learned actually in one of like a not workshop, it was like a ritual together at Kasakwa. It was about grief ritual together that, like, for example, grief has much also restored in lungs as well. I learned from somebody who was like, this is, maybe we need to research it, but like there is what I wanted to say, that the emotions are restored in your body. And like I learned, for example, that I've been talking to my friends, to my loved ones, sharing about my low, my sadness, my grief. And then my body felt like I needed a big cry to like release it, you know. And that needs conscious decision and agency of like, you know what? I'm going to sit with this. Even though it's fucking scary to like go through that motions, you know, of like intense emotions that is also unknown for you. There's so many layers or waves of emotions that it's our first time feeling everything, you know, in this lifetime, and like how to map that in our body. So for me to really consciously, even just for some minutes, we don't need to plan a day of like, this is gonna be my me time, feeling all the emotions and everything, and then just like some minutes in my day, take a deep breath. And then I don't know, sometimes I like to talk to myself out loud as well, because everything is in the brain. Inside it's just like then to just like talk out loud. And you know, I have a lot of mirrors at my home that talking to myself out loud and in front of myself to just like have a conversation, like, all right, like doing a
So,
so was geht, Leute. Like, all right, Dira, which versions are you, like what? And then have that conversation and questions also with yourself. It helps to talk with others because they also like not only hold the space to listen, and when we need advice, we know like good people that could give good advice. And at the same time, there is versions of yourself that need to confront yourself, and it just happens when you are alone or like in your own space to really confront and sit with the emotion and not judging. Like I sometimes mention, I judge myself when I feel guilty, and then I feel more guilty that I judge myself. It's like the spiral and the things. And now I'm like, all right, when I feel guilty, it's valid. This is how we live, you know. And then but then how do I navigate, and how do I shift and switch these feelings into something that is more nourishing, that is more sustainable for that moment and also for the long term, you know? Yeah.
something else that helps me a lot, because before I was more talking about this, like when you have, on top of everything, you have projects and commitments and all that, and how to deal with that. But when it comes to friends, I think it's important to have people around you with whom you can be sad together, you know, and not have to pretend or mask and all this. I think this is super important.
Yes. This is what I've been practicing as well. When I feel sad and I know there is like an event, for example, from my friends, and I know the event is not that overstimulating for me, it's still intimate, but like I need extra social energy, and already putting myself like, oh, then I need to like hype myself up. But then I'm like, no, I can come and show up and being sad. And I know that these people know that it's okay, and we remind each other also, you're not being a party pooper or something. And they feel sometimes we should like, I don't know, I don't want to like drag people down with my sadness. And I'm like, no, like this is exactly the circle that we want to hold space for, that, because where else where you turn to when you're like going back. Yes, there is time when we need to confront our own sadness, but we are human, we need other people, and bringing that practice into like, hey, I'm sad. And then my friends would be like, okay, we don't need to talk. We can also just watch movie. And then like, if you want to cry, you cry. If not, we can still laugh also. Like while you're being sad, it's not forbidden to laugh. We can grieve and laugh. It's actually very healing as well to laugh while you are being sad, like the process of how your body responds, either with laughter, with tears, or with no words, or just with your body language. It's all it helps me to just be witnessed as well with the sadness. Sometimes you don't need to actively process together with the friends. Just be witness to each other. All right, we're sad, Yeah.
About canceling plans. We've all been there on both sides of the story. Because actually this week, I cancel once, you cancel once. Like,
that's true. Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Good goodbye.
Since you signed this contract, these divorce things, you're like very formal.
I'm like in my formals.
Was ist los mit Ihnen?
Oh my God. Okay, canceling plans. It's also a topic around friends, like I needed to learn the word flaky, like being flaky. And then there's like a character like, I don't like people who's like flaky, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, I am actually now in the phase of like being flaky with my own self. Like, be flaky with your own self. I'm canceling my own plans when it's like, it has no commitment or like other relationship with others. And then I'm like, you know what? I think I need to practice more to be more flaky. At the same time, they're like, practice how to cancel plans in the circumstances that are well communicated,
Like the ethical slut.
The ethical flaky way is how I built or I created this language with my friends when they're like important stuff. We share that we need to show up. I want you to show up, and then we will plan the energy to save it, right? To come. If it's like very important, like I don't know, a film premiere, for example. But then there are other events where we're like, okay, and then we always say, let's check in on the day. So it means there is a space to be flaky. And there is also a not expectation and understanding. Okay, it could be yes, it could be no, and both are fine when we check in the days after. Or sometimes we say like, let's check in 15 minutes, yeah. Like 15 minutes before, when we both know like this is the last string.
Okay,
we are trying, but we still want to show up for each other, but the check-in. And then in the end, if it's canceled or we postpone, it's communicated, It's not just like all of a sudden we can, even though if it's all of a sudden, we can always talk about it, How do you cancel plans? What is your relationship with being flaky or experiencing flaky?
I think lately I try not to commit fully, like not say, I mean, right now I'm thinking specifically about social things. Like, we're going to a bar, we're going this, we're doing that. And more like when more than one person is involved, I try not to say, oh yeah, I'm coming. I say like, oh, I'll let you know. Or yeah, it could be, like this kind of thing.
Inshallah.
And then I think one-on-one, usually my friends either are in the same situation. We always check in maybe one day before and this kind of thing. Yeah, and I go case by case. Because sometimes I just really want to stay home. And I think usually people will understand, but I guess also they know that I only do it if I really need to stay home.
Yes.
And I think I hope they feel the same, that they can say,
yes.
Yeah. And I think between you and me, we never talked about this before, I think. I mean, maybe, more or less. But I think we are in sync in many things. And I think we are so in sync that we were feeling bad conveniently the same days of the week.
It's like reading your message. I'm like, oh, okay. And then you reading my message, like, oh.
Yeah, I was like, believe it or not, this is perfect for me. Nice. And we both wrote each other in the morning.
Yes.
Of the day. Yeah.
Yes, we know the timing as well.
Uh-huh.
And this is when you actually show up, because you show up for yourself first. You check in with yourself. You check in, and then you know the time. So it's not like you can still give the other person time to like change their plan. I think that's sometimes like a way of like being a respectfully flaky person. Like not last minute where you like, no, what do you mean? I could have done something else. At the same time, I think it's also a part of acknowledging that we all will disappoint each other too. And there is disappointment happening when I cancel plans, and then when I cannot show up for my friends, for my loved one. There are still people that I wish I could show up more, and I know I disappoint them. And part of that is also learning to accept that. And then like, there are so many things that I started to then spiral, and then like I know there is repair, or like how do you show up in a different way, and at the same time giving myself the time and the grace to like, okay, there's a lot of things that, yes, it's like you said, the system also what do you call it, like put us in this way that we are feeling overwhelmed, that of course we cannot show up for everybody, and that I learn to be okay with disappointing people. Not that I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna decide whatever. No, it's like that's part of being human, being in relationships, being in friendship, collaborating together, like I think we have also in the beginning this talk of like, I can work with you because if we have conflict, we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
We disappoint each other, like, I actually don't like this, and then I will tell you, and that's like, all right, it's not all magical, whimsical. We're just like very kind and loving people, and we fucked up too. And like, yeah.
When you said we fucked up too, I just remember that you didn't come to my birthday.
This is what I mean. And you showed your disappointment too.
Yeah, I told you I will forgive you. You remember? No. Eventually. I haven't still.
I brought you flowers.
How is this connected? Like 3 weeks later.
I know, and there was like,
no, it's okay. I'm closer to forgiving you now.
Thank you.
You're welcome. No, it's okay. I think after today I forgive you. Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry. I haven't said it out loud. I'm sorry I didn't come to your birthday party, and I know it was important for you.
You even stole some of my guests.
Because they're also
Okay.
We're gonna fight after this. Thank you so much for listening, watching, and please subscribe.
Yes, please subscribe and follow on Instagram too.
And also talk with us, chat with us, share it in the comments. How you do, how you cope and vibe in this confusion, difficult time also. And yeah, just give some love also. Can you do this?
No,
this is the easiest, but it's like it's so hard.
The new one, right? The latest.
This one, but we do this, the classic one.
Yeah, because, yeah.
This, okay.
Ciao.
See you on the next episode.